Augustas, I'm not sure how about yourself, but I'm not really surprised. I kind of had an inclination that away, Panathinaikos might struggle a little bit. And 2-2, series is tied. We're going back to Athens.
Why are you wearing that shirt, by the way?
Because
after this game.
You can find this t-shirt at shop.basketnews.com, as well as many other merchandise that we have for EuroLeague teams.
But talking about the game, this series definitely deserves Game 5. I think Efes showed that they deserve Game 5 in Oaxaca. You know, they played some great basketball in Athens. They lost Game 3, but I thought today they had great stretches. And this series deserves a Game 5. We're not quite sure if this is going to be the only series that are going to get to have Game 5, because we are recording this just 10 minutes immediately after the game. But wow, what an ending. And I think we're going to start talking about that. And that last possession where Efes had to score, and they had +1.
I thought you were going to roll it back a little bit more, because
from which possession you mean?
I would like to start with that possession where Nunn gets the ball in ISO in a high post, tries to post up, then Dozier deflects the ball, and you think, okay, Efes is good, but then he gets one leaning three-pointer to go into that score that you were talking about.
And that was interesting because with the help of an off-ball screen, he got going left.
For the probably first time this series.
Not the first time, but he just, I'm not sure, made a shot going left, not many shots going left. He's not comfortable in this series. That's obvious. Had a great Game 3. Today, again, wasn't like an MVP type of player. Efes did a great job on him, but he still scored there. And Efes, had that one possession. Pau doesn't need to foul, but I thought Efes did an amazing job of understanding the situation. You have Kostas Lukas and you have Kendrick Nunn defending. And what they did, they included them both in that situation, and good things happened. Kostas Lukas switched, Kendrick Nunn didn't. There's a wide open PJ Dozier on a short roll. And then he makes a great pass to Roland Schmitz under the basket, and somehow the Latvian scores an and one. So like the worst possible scenario for Pau, the best possible scenario for Efes. And that's not even the end.
That's not the end of it.
Yeah, that's not even the end of it. I mean, I did not understand Ataman there. You have Yurtseven and you have Veni and Gabriel, who were not fouled out. Yeah, Gabriel had 3 and Yurtseven had 1 foul. And he doesn't put them in for a rebounding purpose. Maybe he thinks Schmitz will make the free throw. But, you are left with Juancho and Gytis Osman boxing out. And both of those guys actually lose their possession battle. Like PJ Dozier wins the battle against Gytis Osman, and Yilmaz actually beats Juancho and tips that basketball to PJ Dozier, who then gets an unsportsmanlike foul because Gytis Osman is grabbing the jersey. Don't say EuroLeague Mafia. That was for sure an unsportsmanlike foul.
No question.
And and that is the game, basically. You lose the game there because of, the defense, the Pau defense. And I thought, Kendrick Nunn did the same not switching thing, miscommunication, twice in the fourth quarter. Remember that possession where PJ Dozier made that pass to Roland Schmitz, who was wide open under the basket?
Yep.
That was also Yurtseven switched because Nunn got stuck on a screen. And, Kendrick remained to his man. Again, not wanting to switch, not wanting to hustle defensively. And 2 easy baskets that you could say that decided the game. But there were also another important shots, let's say, down the end.
For sure. But for PJ Dozier to come into the game, having played 2 minutes in the first 3 quarters and making such huge, essential plays for Efes, I thought that was a huge job he did. But what was interesting for me was the reaction from Panathinaikos' coaching staff, specifically Ergin Ataman. At first, I was like, "What's going on? He got ejected or something?" Because you see a replay where he's pointing to the nosebleed somewhere, and then he's just leaving. And I thought, okay, maybe he got ejected.
No.
Then we were like, maybe he's just gonna go prepare for Game 5 or something like that. Because essentially, after that, in sportsmanlike, the game was over. It was obvious that the game is over. But you got some insights from our BM Plus WhatsApp group.
Community, BM Plus community. I mean, first of all, I think that leaving the game early when the game is not finished is disrespectful. That's one thing. And I don't understand why Ataman always has to make, when the game is lost, he has to make a statement. Whether this was a, let's say, physical statement, just him leaving, whether he makes a verbal statement after game 1, the attack on Luka Banki. Basically, what Efes fans did, they chanted something that Fenerbahce fans used to chant. It was something like Ataman, take the timeout.
Okay.
And
so they got under his skin.
They got under his skin because that's Anadolu Efes. That's his team.
Weird,
basically.
No, it's like weird that there's a beef between a team that he led to 2 championships.
Exactly. And they shouted, they made a chant, Ataman, take the timeout. He got angry. He started pointing. You mentioned the pointing. He was pointing to the titles, to the banners they won. It's always...
I thought it was to the fans. Okay.
It's always about the titles for Ergin. And he left. And with that, I don't understand. I mean, players... hear all kinds of shit during the game. They don't leave the court. So once again, it's about...
I mean, he's a hot-headed person. Let's just admit that. He operates on emotion a lot of the times. And a lot of the times it works, but sometimes when it doesn't, you see the ugly side of it, I guess. And that's what we saw today.
But I just don't like that we have to talk about that instead of the game. Like
I love drama, man.
But that's smart for him, but I don't like it. Like you take the attention, all the attention basically from the players right before Game 5.
From the great Efes win, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So now everybody's talking not about what maybe Panathinaikos did not do in the game plan, how Ataman did not put a big guy to rebound the ball there in the last seconds.
I see.
And all that stuff.
A little bit of a distraction, let's call it.
Yeah, you know how they do, the politicians, how they do. If they do something wrong, they just... tell something else to concentrate.
A little fire on the side, and then that's where everyone's looking. But anyways, let's break down the game a little bit more. I was a bit surprised by Juancho not starting the game. It was an interesting choice by Ataman. An even more interesting choice was Erkan Yilmaz starting for Efes and playing actually 20 minutes in this game almost, and contributing with his hustle energy plays. But generally, we're seeing more and more of these interesting adjustments throughout the series, game to game. In every series, let's call it. This one, the Olympiacos one, we discussed in the morning. So it's interesting. But just starting with the beginning, I thought Panathinaikos started pretty well. Good defense, got some quick points of transition, made some shots, but... This whole series is about runs. One team makes a run, another team makes a run. And how many times, not just the lead changed, but we saw a 10-0 run, a 9-0 run, and so on. And
I mean, to your point, the start was 10-0 Efes run, so they made it 14-7. Then Pau answered with 7-0. Then Efes answered with 7-0 of their own. And then Pau started the second quarter with 6-0 run.
Yeah.
So it's basically a game of runs. And in the third quarter, Efes got a 10-point lead pretty quickly. In 2 minutes, that was gone.
Yeah, that was crazy how fast that happened.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trace and Chase, who provided us with an update, 2024-25 EuroLeague tradable cards made by Panini. And they got us some nice hobby boxes. We got 3 of those. We have already unpacked many packs. And if you're into collecting these EuroLeague tradable cards, NBA tradable cards, and any other sports, they cover a lot, make sure to go to traceandchase.com, use our code BasketNews5, and get an exclusive discount. Now, I'm very interested to see what I can pack from all of this 12 players, 12 cards that you have there. I don't like that you're mixing it up because I like it when it's a random order, but let me pick a 5, picking on the spot. Okay, now you mixed it up. Okay, that's fine. So let's see what I get. Do I get the autograph? Let's see.
Oh my God, first card. Dejan Bodiroga Marvel cards.
Let's go, Dejan Bodiroga, one of the greatest of all time.
Hugo Gonzalez rated prospect card.
Let him prove a little bit more. We'll discard this one for
this
now.
side. Iago Dos Santos this season card.
Iago, not the best season, so let's skip this one.
Another Marvel card. They look amazing. Wow, Marcus Howard.
Marcus Howard also didn't have the best season.
Look at the card.
I know it's a nice card, but I'm hoping for something better.
Okay.
Usually patience pays off in this game.
Here is something better. Aquila Polonara.
Okay. Next one.
Hugo Gonzalez, another card.
Next one. Okay, I'm leaving myself with a few options, but let's see.
Nick Kalatis from Monaco.
He barely played this season, and I'll have to skip as well.
All right.
How many cards are left?
Right.
Am I even... Okay, I'm fine still.
5? You're not fine because one of those cards is Barcelona team logo.
Okay, so put it in the bin. So
so you have 4.
Present my starting 5.
Let's see. You have Dejan Bodiroga.
Yeah.
But I'll add Šarūnas Jasikevičius from Panathinaikos 2011-2012 season Marvel card.
Get in.
This is amazing.
Get in, Šaras.
Gabriel Deck, Real Madrid this season. That's not bad.
I think that's not a worse card than most of those, considering the seasons they had.
You get Walter Tavares, a EuroLeague leader card with the block against Matias Lazor in the EuroLeague final, I think.
Who said I'm a Real Madrid hater? 2 Real players already. And Bodiroga, I feel like played there.
An Optic Jordan Nuora card. It's not bad. It's not the
best. It's not the best selection I had, but
these 2 cards are worth, I think, quite a lot.
Yeah. All right, so guys, if you want to grab some cards, some packs, and unbox these kind of cards, make sure to go to traceandchase.com once again and use our code BasketNews5. Talking about some players, I mean, I was sort of feeling like this game was going in Pau's way for majority of it. So I was looking at Cedi Osman obviously having a great game, getting into the paint at will. He was just, I don't know, what would you say? Is this Efes's lack of communication on defense, or they're just not quick on their feet, letting him into the paint so deep? And he was just running in transition, making defensive plays. But the penetration game he demonstrated today, I was very surprised by.
You know, by the way, season high 22 for him.
Oh, yeah.
Previous season high was 20 against Efes as well.
I feel like in the loss, it won't matter neither to him nor the team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What is it? What's that about?
You know, Efes are risking a lot, limiting Kendrick Nunn and Kostas Lukas. So somebody has to be open. I mean, we are seeing it on both sides. Larkin made 9 assists today, again, made some great passes. And both teams are just sending 2 opponents towards the guards.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you make the right pass, there are long closeouts, and whether you make a shot, if you don't shoot, you have a lot of room to drive. And Osman was great at that, and Cedi was also great, you know, at transition. Similarly to what actually Elijah Bryant did on the other side. He made some spot-up threes. He had the best game of the series, and actually I had the stats about Elijah Bryant. In the regular season, he was averaging almost 14 points on 51% shooting from 2, 38 from 3. Until game 4, he had less than 11 points, so down by more than 3 points, his scoring average. And his percentages were 35 and 21. And he had more turnovers than assists before this game.
And the way he started the game, it didn't seem like it's anything different.
He missed first 3 shots, I think, and had a turnover, but finished with 19, and he shot 43% from 2, 44% from 3, 3 steals, 4 rebounds, and so many important shots in the second half.
Oof.
And not only spot-ups and closeouts, but 2 ISO situations, and the one that was super important in the
38
fourth
seconds
quarter.
left. Yep.
Exactly. That made it a 2-possession game, +4. Really, really nice step-back shot. And yeah, I just thought Luka Banchi is finding way more different guys to contribute. You know, today was Elijah Bryant day. PJ Dozier had a great fourth quarter in game 2 where Efes won in Oaxaca. Today in the fourth quarter, he stepped in playing only 2 minutes. He was great, did some small things. Erkan Yilmaz, the guy has 17 points until this game in the season. He plays almost 18 minutes. Dirty job. Makes a free, misses 3 free throws out of 4, but gets 2 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and these are the little contributions, the X factors that you need in the playoff series. And Pau are just, relying on the same guys. I was surprised that Kalaitzakis did not even get a floor touch tonight. Lorenzo Brown in 4 minutes did not do much. These guys are just not in rhythm. Maybe they're not used to playing these small roles as well, because Lorenzo Brown's case, he was just remember last year's series against Maccabi, he was the main guy, and he was cooking actually Pau as well. So,
but I find these series very interesting because of how both teams are really shutting down the offensive leaders of each team. So Shane Larkin finished with 9 points, Nunn with 12 this game. Okay, last game, Nunn was able to penetrate more, get more looks at the rim, and he was finishing better. This game, he was doing the same. He wasn't getting as many good looks as he did in the game before, but he was doing the same thing, drawing the fouls. But I just thought it's interesting that it becomes about who of the other guys can step up. For Pau, it was Lucas and Osman. For Anadolu Efes, it was both Bryant, Osmani, all these guys that the focus isn't on. And it's both interesting, but for me, as a fan of those guards who create and like to score on one-on-one situations, I kind of want to see them cook a little bit more. But I wanted to ask you,
you're like Devin Booker. You don't want to see double teams.
Not to that extent, but I wanted to ask you, what do you do in both cases? You're getting hedged every single time you're getting a pick. Your big comes, you take a pick, and there's a hedge. Is there anything else both Shane Larkin and Kendrick Nunn that they could do to score from the perimeter? Because if they get into the paint, they might finish there or kick the ball out. But 3-pointers in the regular season, I don't know how many. I didn't look up the statistics, but I definitely remember many instances of Kendrick Nunn playing either pick and roll or pick and pop with Mitoglu or someone, and getting a 3-pointer off that. But here, we're not seeing either of those guys shooting any threes off the pick and roll. So what do you do? Because the only 3-pointer I think that Kendrick Nunn made this game was after a hedge, the big went down, and then he just made a crazy bank shot from quite a far distance, and that was it.
That's one thing you could do. You wait until the hedging big goes down. You basically keep the ball by yourself, and then it becomes, instead of a pick and roll, it becomes an ISO. Then Panathinaikos could try to make the big arrive late by setting a ram screen, like another player, third player, sets a pin down for a big before he comes up, like somewhere near the rim, and then the big sprints and makes the opposing big arrive late. You could try to do that to make an outside jump shot. But that's hard because these teams know every set, and it's definitely hard to surprise maybe after timeout play, but then second time they already know it. So yeah, you are right that it becomes about other guys, and Lucas and Nunn still try to finished out the series in fourth quarter, but Panathinaikos had 6 turnovers in the last 10 minutes, which you could say cost them the game because Efes had only 2.
3 of those turnovers were from 4th minute to 4 minutes left to 3 minutes left. So like imagine like 3 possessions in a row you get a turnover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you have for game 5 in Oaxaca?
Man, it's so difficult to think about.
Because this is a super even series. Like seeing how Efes played, they definitely deserve game 5 and they are as close to Pau as they can be. Who are you picking in game 5, Gytis?
Thing is, I trust in home court advantage in these situations. I feel like for 34 games, you're battling it out and you earn the home court advantage for a reason. For a team who has the best home record in the league, Panathinaikos, I feel like it will be a factor. Of course, they lost the game 2 at home, but I feel like this will be the advantage that they'll have. I feel like the Oaxaca crowd will be the craziest we've ever seen.
God. Yeah.
If I'm being honest, we've ever seen, because obviously it's an elimination game 5. I'm just expecting that. I'm expecting Panathinaikos with energy to win this game, but we'll see. Because when things don't go right, when you're missing some shots, pressure comes on. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, it's just hard to bet against Oaxaca in game 5. And
you've been there.
Remember, I've been there now. I can say that it's incredible. They're going to be even louder than we were in games 1 and 2. And last year they won against Maccabi in game 5. And a similar series, basically. And remember what we've said near this table many times before the playoffs. Panathinaikos needs a home court advantage to get into the Final Four. They have the home court advantage now. Game 5 is in Oaxaca. And yeah, it's there to lose, I think, because they're still playing at home and they should be the favorites. Only because of that, even though Efes are playing great series and deserve a lot of kudos, guys.
And if we're following the pattern, first game Pau, second game Efes, third game Pau, fourth game Efes, fifth game.
See, now
We'll
you're
see.
just now it's just numbers magic, let's say. So I want to hear what you guys
What do you think about game 5? Wow.
What's going to happen there? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys pretty soon.